All right, we just got out of Halloween 2018. How do you feel, Cass?
That was intense.
We just saw it. I can't believe it. What'd you think?
It was amazing.
Amazing. Aunt Julie and Uncle Gary.
Huh?
What'd you guys think?
That was good.
Can you believe it? We saw it.
I
That was
know.
intense. I need to like digest it all.
There's a
Yeah.
lot to comprehend.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. That's my favorite after the first two films.
That might be my favorite one yet.
Yeah, that
I
was
like
that was
when
incredible.
the daughter said,
That was incredible.
I wish it would have been more like killings. Like a
I thought
couple
it was
more.
pretty brutal.
it's not her cage, it's a trap.
A couple more, but he came up
That was
behind
my
it.
favorite part.
Yeah.
Oh, chills.
He said what now?
Think about it.
She
there was
said,
only 5 kills.
it's not her cage, it's a trap.
Yes,
so they
that was
chopped him down,
great.
He was like looking up with like the bars across.
Yeah.
Just planted
I love how the
sugar
movie
on.
opens with the original opening text and like
Oh,
the
I give
pumpkin
you
comes
goosebumps.
back
That
to
was
life.
so cool.
Like Michael is returning. Oh,
Kid getting babysat, he was
yeah,
hilarious.
he was funny.
He was so funny.
It had so many of the original elements.
Yes,
Like the musical
and
flair.
it was intense. It's
That was really
modern.
fast,
Music,
huh?
like,
The best
Yeah.
of both
Like
worlds.
Like
How
H2O.
fast was that movie?
H2O was
Yeah.
fast. That's an hour and 40 minutes.
What happened to the scene where her and Michael were fighting in the yard? Where did that go? The trailer.
Must,
gonna be
I think
an
that's an alternate ending
There's gonna
because
be
they
an
redid
alternate
the ending. They
like,
redid
on
the ending. I
Blu-ray
heard.
And all the extra
Yeah.
bonuses and shit, you know.
Yep.
Walk towards the car. Come on.
It was okay. It's like 2 hours.
I'm glad I got to see it with you,
Yeah,
Gary.
me too. I wonder what the reviews are now.
Oh,
Oh, 93.
93%.
93, look.
Look at that. 92%.
93.
People did like this movie.
The reviews, 93% like it.
93%.
Wow. I know
One girl
we're
came out of here and she was like, "Oh, it was more suspenseful than scary."
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
It should be
that's
more
the sequel.
suspenseful.
that's how the
It
original
wasn't that scary though.
Well, if they're making a sequel
Was
for
this
next
in
year,
It was
we're
like, my
going.
heart was pounding a few
the whole
times.
time she was checking for him. I was
We're
all
used to
heck.
Rob Zombie's version.
Yeah.
This is like the original,
Yeah.
Yep.
authentic Michael Myers. This isn't the Rob Zombie brutal kills. It's supposed to be suspenseful instead.
It was
Yeah.
really good.
So there might be a sequel next year that we might be coming here again, right? I loved how it ended, Mom.
I know.
Michael and Lori, because you know Michael lived right there. You know?
We don't know.
Oh, he lived. He lived. Like we know something about Michael Myers is the shape always lives. Evil never dies, what John Carpenter said, remember? You can't kill it.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
wow. Uncle Gary he thinks that's his favorite one.
He wanted to watch the 9:45.
I want to see it again already. I want to see it again.
I do too.
I already want to see it.
But they have
I know. But we're so seeing it right when we get back again.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
We're seeing
Chelsea,
it.
Chelsea wants to go.
We're gonna see it like 3 times.
Chelsea wants to go.
Oh my god. All right, guys, we got out of the movie theater. Halloween 9. Halloween 9. Mom, all those years
I know.
waiting.
No, I'm gonna cry.
Well, I'll never forget
Jamie
this
Lee
memory,
Curtis
guys.
did a really good job.
She
She
did do
did.
amazing.
Really good.
And Nick Castle, he played Michael Myers again, the original
what
guy.
I wished is they did one flashback scene.
They
They
that
did
was-
with Judith Myers.
They did, but like I wish they would have done a scene.
Of her in the closet, but they
Yeah.
did that in H2O, so they can't do it in this one.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't want to
And
rehash
remember that one
anything.
take when she was like, "I wish I had you."
Yeah, they cut that
all."
out.
They cut that,
That
out.
was from the trailers. Yeah,
They
Oh,
cut a
Mr.
lot.
Sandman.
they
Yeah,
had no Mr. Sandman.
Mr.
Yep.
Because that's the second one, technically.
Yeah.
me a dream.
They're trying to capture the first one.
Yep. Give him tulips like roses and clover, and tell him that his months and nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam, Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Bum 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 bum. Was a memory I'll never forget, guys. I will cherish this forever, just like it did with Rob Zombie's Halloween. We saw it.
Step on.
Did we see Rob Zombies together?
Thank
Yep.
you, Step on
Yep.
for watching the kids.
And thanks for coming, Jolene.
Thanks for coming, Brian.
Fun fact: Rob Zombie's Halloween was the first
We got
movie we
93%
saw with
already
Aunt
from the
Jolene.
reviews.
Yes.
Yep.
It's probably gonna go down like 8. I'd say probably 90. By the time it's done, maybe 89.
It was a great movie.
It's gonna be better than the critics' review.
Oh wow, I'm still in shock.
Hey, that was really. Hey, that went really fast, right?
Yeah, it went quick.
Like it had a good, like it had a good pace to it.
long
Had a
time
real
for
good
me.
pace.
But it was good.
Yeah.
It held your attention.
Yeah. Hey Fee.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing good, boy.
Hey, how you doing, Cass?
I'm doing great.
We're on our way to go see Halloween. It's me and Cassidy's second viewing. This is Fee's first viewing of
I'm
Halloween.
excited. I'm
The,
scared
the
a
new
little
Halloween
bit.
movie. Yeah. Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, I just have to see it again to process everything.
Right.
Cassidy feels that way. We were gonna see a 9 o'clock showing. I know that if Uncle Gary, if he didn't have kids yet, if it was like 10 years ago, we would have
went
wanted
at 7,
to
we
get.
wanted
Yeah.
to see the next one after.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
wow. Old Uncle Gary, we would have done it.
yeah. But we had a blast, and I have it on video, and it's gonna be like, this is gonna be an entire collage on YouTube, this whole thing, and just really, you know, celebrating this movie. I even got some shots for my Halloween fan film when I was out there, which was really fun. Even if I don't use all the shots, I got some other cinematic shots too, so one of those shots will be in there.
Illinois.
Because I actually filmed, I want to say I actually filmed in Illinois, something, and yeah, me and Cass had a lot of fun.
We did.
It was great. My mom's memorial and seeing the movie, and everybody loved it. So
We'll let you know how
yep,
he likes it.
yep. I can't wait to see your reaction, Fee.
I'm excited.
Yep, stay tuned, guys.
All right.
This
bye.
is me, and yep, I'll make a video when we're out of the theater.
I was gonna say lower your hand a little bit, cause.
Oh, okay.
Here.
All right, yeah,
All right, yeah, you're good right there.
Okay. All right. This is our Bishop 13, and I'll make a video when we, right before we enter the theater and when we are out of the theater. So, all right. Woo! Here we go, guys. Halloween 9. Woo!
Get it.
All right,
Wow,
guys.
She said more than enough. Jesus.
We're here.
Not a single fucking soul in this place.
We're here to see Halloween 2018. How do you feel?
We're gonna get
Second
a good
showing?
ass fucking spot.
We're gonna get the best spot. Yep. All right, you guys excited?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Let's go.
All right, we are leaving Regal in King of Prussia after we just saw what, guys?
Halloween.
Halloween 2018.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what'd you guys think?
I thought it was really good. Very suspenseful.
Wow, we saw it, guys. We saw it. I can't believe it.
Jamie's a badass.
And what was your
Or
favorite
not
scene,
Jamie,
Fee?
Lori. I like the scene where they break out of when they're released in the street.
Yeah?
Yeah, she thought that was creepy.
Yeah?
I thought that was really like creepy.
Cass, your favorite scene?
Shit. I'd say when Michael puts his mask back on for the first time.
Yeah, yeah. I say
what's
most of the movie is my favorite.
What's your favorite part?
The atmosphere of the movie.
Yeah.
The style, the music, the tone, going back to the original movies, that feel. And I think mainly the opening credits, the old
Yeah.
text, the
Yeah, I
pumpkin coming back, resurrecting, that was so awesome.
I actually like how throughout the movie they kept the sounds kind of old school. Like
Yes.
how the old like
Yeah,
they,
yes.
Yeah.
John Carpenter, yeah, he did amazing, so.
He did.
I
It
just
felt
love,
like I was watching like an old like a movie.
Yeah.
In a way.
what I loved about it is it just felt like
But I
the
loved
old
how
movies.
they amped it up. I like that new song, like it had a Purge vibe.
Yeah, yeah. We saw a Happy Death Day trailer.
We did.
But they didn't show it at the trailer when we were
In
to see it
Illinois.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had different trailers at this one.
Yeah. The second one looks really good.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Right?
I feel like it's a rent kind of movie though. I feel like I wouldn't go to the theaters.
You guys think there'll be another Halloween movie?
I don't know. It was open ended.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, they already made a shit ton of money and it's getting a lot of good reviews, so they might as well.
I think
He should come after the granddaughter next time.
Yeah.
I think
And then they do realize that he is family, and they actually do stick with that.
Right? They
That'd be
might
sick.
bring that back. You never know. I hope so, because I love the whole brother-sister relation. It adds a lot to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it was something thrilling about him just going after anybody in the movie.
But like, why Lori though? That's what we need to find out in the second one. If it's not her, his sister, then what's his significance?
Yes.
Why Lori?
Yeah.
Like, why does it matter 40 years later if he didn't get to kill that girl? You know?
Yeah.
There has to be a motive, and we got to figure out that motive, and they better write it.
Yeah.
If it's not sibling thing, we need to know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think because he's like, you know, the behind the Freddy Krueger, right?
Yeah.
So how they locked him in that room and it caught on fire, and then he became Freddy Krueger because he had the fucked up face, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna do a really badass version of Michael Myers. Like, he's gonna have like half burned mask where his hair's gonna be fuzzed off, and he's just gonna look even creepier and scarier than and then he's gonna have burns all over him. Like, he's gonna look
Like he did in the other ones.
In the original films,
Yeah, and then they lit him on fire and his hands were all burned.
Oh my god, I'm so happy we got to see it, guys.
I know.
We saw Halloween 2018.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo!
Glad you guys enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
Alright, this concludes the video, guys. This is RBR Short 13. Alright, peace. Hello everybody, this is RBR Short Films 13, aka Ryan, and today I'm doing my review of Halloween 2018. I know, I'm just obsessed with this mask because it's just so awesome. Everybody loves this mask. I think this is my favorite Halloween mask after the first two movies. This mask is awesome. It's just so cool. Anyway, I'm gonna do my review of the movie. I don't even know where to start, guys. As you guys have seen the previous videos that you guys just watched on this video, I went to see the movie twice. First viewing was with my Uncle Gary, my Aunt Jolene, my mom, my sister, and we all went to go see it. My Uncle Gary, he lives in Chicago, so it was cool to see it in Illinois with like an Illinois audience in the Midwest, because I've been living out here on the East Coast for almost 2 years, so well, about a year and a half, and it was really amazing. The audience was really into it. It was kind of like mixed response kind of audience. There's, people were into it, some people were not. It was just quite an event, but it was really fun because it was like, it's October time. Finally a Halloween movie released in October, and there was lines, and you walk into the theater and the stadium, and you sit down, and you see the big screen projection, and it's the movie. Like, I was so nervous. Like, I remember looking at my Uncle Gary and everybody. We were all like, "Can you believe we're here? Can you guys believe it?" It was amazing. And the movie played, and I was hooked from right when it started. I really loved the way it opened, and I actually cried when the movie started, when after the guy says "say something" and it does boom 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 boom, Halloween, and that pumpkin starts to rise up. I was crying, and I never cry to a horror movie. I never cry to I cried to Rob Zombie's H2. I did cry to Annie's death scene. I still cry to that scene. But other than that, this hit me like that because it took me back to my childhood, nostalgia, watching the old movies, and it like, I'm like, finally for the first time I'm seeing a Halloween movie that's not a remake or anything like that. This is even if it's discludes everything after the first movie, it's a sequel to the original series, and it was just amazing. I didn't like that it just said Halloween. I really wish they called it something else, like Halloween 40 years later, which I don't know why that couldn't have been the title. H40 sounds a little bit better than H2O, so I would have been cool with that. Halloween 9 would have been cool. Like, the fact that it's just called Halloween 9 is unoriginal, and I'm not the only person that you will hear that from,
So I'm just gonna my complaints about the movie. I'm gonna talk about immediately and then go into the good stuff. Um, what I didn't like about anything I didn't like about, and it's really hard to say what I didn't like about the movie because I love the movie and I've seen it twice. I've seen 2 viewings of it, and it was what I didn't like, of course, is the title. Even if it was called Halloween 2018, it would have been cool, like shit. Um, what else did I not like? I felt like the movie could have been 10 minutes longer, and that's really weird for me to say that with a Halloween movie, because I like that it's short, but I felt like the movie needed an extra 10 minutes to kind of develop the characters more. I felt like a lot was cut from this movie. I feel like 20 minutes was cut from this movie. And the ending was changed. You can tell by the ending of the movie that it's like they were afraid to take any chances. This is spoilers, by the way, guys, spoilers. But they didn't kill off Laurie. They didn't kill off Michael. They left it open, for another movie, which, to be honest, I really enjoyed that. But at the same time, really, they couldn't make a, okay, we're going to kill Laurie off. Laurie's going to take her life for her granddaughter or her daughter, or a, oh, we're going to do some H2O moment with Michael and really show that this is the last Halloween movie. But when I walked into this, I didn't want to see Laurie or Michael die because we haven't seen these characters in forever, and we've seen them die how many times, So it was kind of cool to because people can say, oh, Michael died in the fire, and no, he didn't. All right. We know when Michael's been destroyed or not. Yeah, he got his 2 fingers blown off. He got shot in the shoulder, I think. He didn't get damaged enough. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't get damaged enough. Like, they really needed to mess him up. I wanted to see him get, like shot and stabbed and stabbed. Like, I wanted to see that. And it was kind of like a play it safe ending, like, oh, we have to please the fans, so we can't kill off Laurie or Michael. We'll just leave it open ended. Like, if Blumhouse, if this is truly the last Halloween movie, it should have ended like H2O, where it felt conclusive. Like, that's it, And I always will give that respect to H2O, is that you really felt like that was the last one, Like, when that movie ends, it's like, there you go. That's the series, With this movie, at the end, it didn't feel like the last one. And in fact, it felt like it was setting up another movie. It felt like it was a movie, like a prelude to another film that's going to be bigger. You know what I mean? And that's why I think they've talked about a sequel, because there's no way this is the last Halloween movie. There was no ending where Michael explodes, disintegrates, his head blows off. Even when they drive away with the house, the house is on fire. It's just nothing blows up, and then you see it, and then you see the basement, or the whatever, she had the booby trap thing, the trap for him. He's gone. Like, like, there's not even a Halloween music where it's like, like the original. It's just like, oh, yep, Michael just so happened to get away, and Laurie got away, and that's that. So I feel like the ending, even though I loved it, I did love it, I felt like they could have took a little bit more chances with it, and they could have made it a little longer, because this was the Laurie versus Michael movie, right? And even though I love when she's, she has all those traps, and she, the doors, those, whatever you call those things, those things kept shutting, and the mannequin stuff, and like, he's like grabbing her, and and stuff, like, she's like, getting at, jabbing at, I mean, that was cool, but I felt like it needed to go on longer, and I'm glad I didn't watch any of the trailers. I only watched the first trailer, because I hear a lot of people were saying that, oh, well, this wasn't in the movie, but it was in the trailer. That's why you guys don't watch the trailers. Don't watch the trailers to horror movies, because most of the time, what you'll see in the trailer will not be in the movie. you know, and they do that with pretty much any movie. They do that with Star Wars. They do that with Marvel. They do that with a bunch of horror movies and even drama movies, trailers and comedies, especially comedies. You know, they'll have a joke in there that's like so funny, and you go to the movie for that one joke, you know, and it's not even in there, you know. So that's why you just can't watch these trailers because it'll ruin it for you. But anyway, I didn't like that these characters in the movie didn't have enough time to be fleshed out. Like, I love the reporters. In fact, the reporters are my favorite part of the movie. Their story was intriguing as hell. Like, the movie starts, you know, and it's like, you know, the woman, she's like, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, we're on, and she's like saying the date and this and that, you know, and like, the other guy, the British reporter dude, like he was awesome, and I thought they were gonna be really annoying characters to me, but they were off the wall. They were awesome. They felt like real people, and their humor was not overdone. You know, like I love the how does $3,000 sound? You know, and then the gate opens, but then the humor with those characters were never overdone. What I also didn't like, I mean, that's not something I didn't like, but what I didn't like was Laurie's granddaughter's dad. Like, I got peanut butter on my penis. Like, I don't, it's cringeworthy to even say that line. But people were laughing in the theater, like, pretty much everything he was saying, and I'm like, there was humor in the Rob Zombie movies that were funnier than that. Like, you can say what you want about Rob Zombie remakes, but like it had some good comedy here and there. And this was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm glad the movie went back to the simplistic things, but I worried about the humor in this movie because I heard there was a lot of humor in it, and I'm like, you know, because the original films had some humor in it, but it was never overdone, you know, and like whenever it was in the movies, it just felt natural. This was like, remember the two cops, they were like, you know, eating their lunch or whatever, and like the brownie joke, and oh, that's something a 5-year-old would make, and this is a peanut butter, what's with this movie and peanut butter? Like, what, I mean, like, what is this? It's with this and with that. Like, no one, like, it felt like a commercial. It felt like the Sonic commercials. It felt like the Sonic commercials, you know, the two guys. Like, it so felt like that. And it, like, because, you know, David Gordon Green, you know, he directed Pineapple Express. You know, he's very, you know, familiar with comedies. But Pineapple Express is a funny fucking movie. You know, and like the jokes in that all worked, and it made me laugh, and nothing ever was really cringeworthy. Danny McBride was really funny in that movie. Like, you know, he owned that movie. But like, I was kind of expecting the humor to be a little bit better. There were just times where it didn't, it laid flat or whatever the word is. But like the granddaughter's dad, Ray, that's his name, Ray. You know, I think his character could have been not in the movie. Like, easily, like, you know, the granddaughter, like, her dad died of cancer or something. We never got to see her dad. That, honestly, wouldn't have made a big of a difference at all. Then there was the two stupid cops talking about their food. And then the fucking... the fucking doctor! What the fuck? So this is what it feels like. No. Like, what was that all about? Now, I'm glad the movie explained why Michael escaped, because there's no way 40 years later Michael's just going to break out. Like, in the remake, it made sense when he broke through the chains, because it was only like, you know, that was a 17 years, you know, kind of thing. So it made a little more sense, because Laurie was like 17 in that storyline, so it's like, okay. And you could tell he was ready. He was waiting for that night. The movie never had a moment like that, you know, where there was that tension, that build up, like you know he's about to escape, but you don't know quite when. There wasn't any of that. It just, okay, he just, you know. But I'm glad, because I'm like, there's no way Michael just broke out. There had to have been somebody that broke out Michael during the bus transfer, you know, and of course, I mean, I guess they went the route with the doctor, and I didn't mind that at all. It was just like it kind of felt forced in there, but at the same time, I love when the Halloween series does new things, you know, and they do and the twists. Halloween twists are always so awesome, and in a way, it's kind of a good thing they did that because they didn't try to make him like the new Donald Pleasance, you know, or anything like, you know, like they made him his own separate character, and the fact that he was a doctor just obsessed with, you know, that case and like Michael Myers, and he wanted to know what it felt like. I did like that. I think it was just the way it was executed. It could have been done better, you know. Uh, um, there wasn't enough blue lighting, blue tint at night. There was more than I expected, judging from the trailer, and there wasn't a lot of burnt orange kind of color during the daytime. It was like gray. It was like gray, and I was just like, why is the movie gray? You know, and sometimes the lighting is like so dark, I can't see anything. Like you can tell that they didn't have $30 million budget, you know, for this movie. You can tell that it was $10 million budget, you know. But even with John Carpenter, when the original Halloween, you know, which was what 300,000 for 78, that movie still looks 10 times better than the new one. Like that movie, the original is groundbreaking. The way that looks, the way John Carpenter understood the lighting and the shadow, and that really surprises me that John Carpenter, he was on set and he didn't like, you know, I'm surprised that like he didn't have a lot of creative involvement with the lighting of the movie, you know, because it's like he would be like John Carpenter. Oh, I remember in '78 I shot this scene like this, and it was like that. Like David Gordon Green seemed like he did his own thing with the cinematography, and there are some scenes that are actually shot really well and look really good. But there are times where it's just like the lighting's is weird. But there are some scenes where the movie just looks visually fantastic. In fact, it looks like the greatest Halloween movie, the way it looks. But of course, the cinematography didn't kill it for me. Anything else I didn't like about the movie? No Daniel Harris. That's the biggest thing right there. No Daniel Harris. I will never forgive the studio for never including her. The fact that John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis don't even take any recognition of her, that John Carpenter doesn't even know who she is. It's your series. John Carpenter, it's your franchise. It's your series. You came up with this, and you got paid for every sequel, and you're telling me you didn't watch Halloween 4 and Halloween 5, you know, and you don't know who Daniel Harris is, you know? Daniel Harris took on what Jamie Lee Curtis didn't want to do any more Halloween movies in the late 80s, you know, so they had, obviously, if you watch the 24 Years of Terror documentary, they had to, you know, find another actress that could take her place. And it was perfect because it was like this little girl, and it was like so suspenseful, and Daniel Harris was just so talented. And if you watch her in the remakes, it's just her acting's always the best in those movies, like the Hatchet 2, Hatchet 3. She was pretty atrocious in those. But in mostly every movie she does, she's bad in. The only good movies I've seen her in are the Halloween films and Urban Legend. Those ones were off the wall. She did fantastic with those movies. So Halloween is her calling card. And you see that with Jamie Lee Curtis with Halloween as well. Like her best acting is Halloween as well. So this would have been the perfect chance for Daniel Harris and Jamie Lee Curtis to have scenes together, and that final showdown at the end, how epic that would have been. Can you imagine Daniel Harris, you know, that one at that moment where Laurie's daughter's like, "I can't do it, Mom, I can't," and then Michael, you know, appears and she's like, "Gotcha." Could you imagine if that was Daniel Harris, you know, and Jamie Lee Curtis? Like, it would take you back to all the sequels and those Easter eggs and nods. Like, we never got to see Daniel Harris fight back at Michael. He chased after her in 4 and 5. She went through a rooftop sequence. She went through a laundry chute. She was killed in Curse. It was a different actress, but like, she never got to fight back at Michael. She only got one kick. She only got to kick him once in the first remake, and that was it. And then she got the most brutalist kill in the sequel. So it's like she never had that we never got to see Daniel Harris fight back at Michael, you know, in that epic way. And this would have been the perfect chance to have done that, you know? And I would have been more at the edge of my seat, I think, with that. I have no problem with the actress that played Laurie's daughter. She did a good job, but she is not Daniel Harris. You know, Daniel Harris would have crushed it. And even if her acting would have been Godfathery, you know, it still would have had more of an impact, I think, on me and the fans than the new actress they chose. And I think she was in the movie specifically as like a reference joke with like Paul Rudd with Ant-Man, because Paul Rudd was in Halloween 6, you know, and I'm wondering like, oh, well, she worked with him in the Ant-Man movie, so let's put her in Halloween. It kind of felt like, you know, the studio was trying to do something like that. Whatever, you know. But anyway, let's go into the things I loved about the movie. The way the movie opens, the bathroom stall sequence, which they should not have shown in the trailers at all. That was something I was worried about. You know, when I watched the first trailer, I was at the edge of my seat, but it was like, I shouldn't see this until the movie comes out. So that was pretty messed up that they put that in all the trailers, because that scene is like the greatest sequence of the whole series. I mean, that was terrifying, and it was done really well. It was simplistic, and like, and just, I don't know, it was just so like, it was scary. It was scary. Like, I know some people are saying that this movie wasn't scary. It was scary as hell to me. It scared me. It felt like the original movies. I think my second favorite sequence is when Michael is in Haddonfield, and he's just like going after anybody, like in the neighborhood, like all the houses. He just kills this woman, this person, that person, this babysitter. He doesn't care who you are. He just kills whoever, and it calls back to the original film. What John Carpenter always intended with Michael Myers is that he had no family connection, this, that. He was just an unstoppable killing machine, you know, evil, you know, like he's just after anybody on Halloween night, which kind of, it freaked me out. Like, I didn't like that they cut out the brother-sister dynamic at first, but it worked for this movie, though. It actually, it added something new to the series. It felt very fresh. And it actually didn't distract me too much. There was a couple scenes where I'm like, you know, why did they take the brother-sister dynamic out, you know? But at the same time, this was something new and exciting for the franchise, and I did like that. And I love Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie. I think this is her best performance of all time, of any movie she's ever done, and this is her greatest performance as Laurie, and that's like a, you know, big deal for me to say that, because I love her in H2O. And I love her in the original movies, but this is her best performance as Laurie Strode to date. Jude Courtney, I hope that's pronouncing his name right. He played Michael. I say he's the best Michael Myers after Dick Warlock and Nick Castle. He killed it. He was incredible. Even when he doesn't have the mask on, you know, and he's like in the very beginning, you know, he kind of moves his head a little bit like this, when, you know, knowing the mask is behind him. That was pretty incredible. And just like he just was scary. He reminded me of like Chris Durand, H2O, Michael, and like the originals, and he just had that, you know, even though I love George Wilbur and Don Shanks as Michael Myers and them, you know, they were like big dudes, you know, he was just like, he's Michael, He's the shape. He looked like the shape. He felt like the shape. He just had that atmosphere. He brought it. You know, when he goes in, that one camera shot where he picks up the hammer and goes into the house. You know, and then he grabs the kitchen knife and then goes to another house, and then when the girl closes the blinds and he slits her throat. That was all in like one take, and that reminded me of the original movies where it was one frame. That was cool. I think that's the coolest part of the movie, aside from the bathroom stall and a couple other moments, but that was really great. I didn't really like the way they handled Donald Pleasance in the movie, like his like audio recording, you know, because obviously it was a sound alike. It wasn't actually Donald Pleasance. I wouldn't have minded if they would have just recycled audio from Halloween 5. You know, like when he says, "I pray that he would burn in hell, but in my heart I knew hell would not have him." Like, if that that could have been all that's in the tape recording in that scene, and that would have been more impactful. It's just like they did like this slow motion effects with his voice, which was really stupid because we all love when Donald Pleasance got all like evil and evil, no, you know, like whenever he got like that emotional, and it's like every time when, you know, like that moment would start, it would like be like, "Roar," and I'm like, why are they toying with, you know, the coolest element of Dr. Loomis? I didn't really like that. But anyway, I love Laurie in this movie. Jamie Lee Curtis did fucking phenomenal in this movie. She owned this movie. Like I felt her pain because I've been through trauma in my life. I have PTSD actually, and I've been through not the experience Laurie Strode went through, but I have been through similar situation, and I can feel her pain so much. I can identify with Laurie so much, and when she's like in the restaurant and she's like drinking and she's like, "I'm sorry," and she's like all emotional mess. I was like inside, like just like feeling so bad for her. Like I could feel her pain. I could just feel it. I could just feel so much pain that was like, it makes me want to cry just thinking of it. Like you feel so bad for Laurie in this movie, you know, and you really want her to kill him. You want her to blow his head off. You want to see that because of this pain that's been put on her for 40 years, that her child was taken away from her, you know, her granddaughter doesn't understand, you know, like you really want her to fuck him up, you know? And I think what was one of the cool things about the movie was that Michael killed a kid. He didn't kill the baby, but he killed that one kid with the dad. That was pretty. That takes balls as a filmmaker to do that, because not even Jason Voorhees killed any kids in the original movies or any of the movies in general. But Michael killed a kid. You know, like holy shit. Like that was that I think the filmmakers wanted you to really hate Michael, really wanted you to be like, nah, I hope Laurie gets this fucker, you know? I think that was why I think that's why they put that moment in there. But it added something new. I thought what was kind of stupid is when the doctor was like, "Don't shoot," and then the kid shoots him. Oh, Jesus. And then we cut to Halloween. I think one of my favorite scenes was when the granddaughter was in the classroom, and she turns and looks through the window, and it's the same classroom as the original movie. That Laurie was in the classroom, and PJ Soles had a cameo. The teacher in that scene, you hear her voice. That's PJ Soles. That was cool as shit because she did the narration for 25 Years of Terror. Love when they give PJ Soles any cameos. I love PJ Soles. So that was awesome. But when she looks through the window, it's not Michael, it's Laurie. And it's Laurie, like, you know, like stalking her granddaughter, making sure she's okay. Like, Laurie believes that Michael could escape at any moment, any night. And she's prepared. She got all these guns. She's shooting these mannequins. You know, she's just like ready to go, and that was like so awesome. You know, and I love when that scene with her and her granddaughter. She's like, you know, fuck college, you know, go to Mexico, you know, like that was cool. That was cool, you know. Um, and It was just, you know, it's not just a great Halloween movie. It's a great movie. In fact, like when I walked out, I'm like, this is one of my favorite movies of all time, uh, or one of my favorite horror movies. Like this was a great movie, just in general. Even if you haven't watched any of the other movies, you watch it and it's just like it's amazing. And it just felt like the old movies, and that really was emotional to me. It had a really emotional impact on me. I liked the babysitter. The reason why I liked the babysitter that was babysitting the kid was not just because the kid was funny in the movie. You know, the kid that everybody loves in this movie. Basically, he stole the show. He was like, he was so funny, and he's like, you used to be cool once, and you know, and like, I'm gonna tell da da da. And then she's like, I'm gonna tell about your web browse history, and you know, and like, I loved their chemistry. I think that their chemistry was my favorite of the entire movie because they felt like real people. You know, she felt like a real babysitter. She wasn't like another Laurie Strode. You know, like, oh, I'm the good girl and this and that. You know, she was typical high school girl that was horny and you know and just like you know was babysitting for money and you know and you know she was, you could tell she's cool, you know, but you could tell she's got a little bit of that uh edge, dark little edge to her, you know, where she's not innocent, you know what I mean, you know. So I did like that. um I What I didn't like about this movie, I think more than anything, was the guys in this movie. Not the reporter, um, but like the sheriff. I hate the sheriff. That was a dumb thing to pray for. God, I was so happy when he got killed. Oh, he drove me crazy. And Ray, I was glad when he got killed. All the stupid uh, uh, friends, the granddaughter and her friends and like her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was so stupid. He's like, fuck this, and he like grabs the knife and goes upstairs and shit. It's like so stupid. It felt like a moment in one of those dumb horror movies where it's like, are you fucking serious? You know, like not one guy was smart in this movie. They like what the hell, you know? And then the douchebag boyfriend that the granddaughter, is it, I forgot her name, Allison, maybe that's her name. I have to watch the movie more. I 2 viewings wasn't enough. But because so much to take in, this movie, it was just so huge. But he like throws her phone, you know, into the the drink, whatever you call it, like at the Halloween party, and you know she's like, I'm done. You so want to see him out of all of them get it, you know, but he doesn't, you know, and it's like pretty much all the assholes in the Halloween movies, they get it the worst, you know, or that, you know, they get it really brutal, and you're like yeah, you know, but the out of all the characters, the douchebag lives, from what I remember. I don't remember him ever being killed off. And then the other guy, he was from Stranger Things. He wanted to get with the granddaughter, and she was like, ew, and like this and that, and like I like when she's like, oh, just because I don't want to be with him doesn't mean I want to be with you. I think she said something like that. And then he's like all drunk, in like some backyard with a bunch of lights, or I don't know where that was. I think that was like in the trailers. They promoted that as like the football field or something. But he's like, hey man, I'm sorry I'm on your property. I guess it was a house. The lighting, I couldn't see. Like some of the lighting was so bad, you know, I couldn't see what was happening. But he got a really, I think his kill was my favorite. Like when like it was like a resurrection tribute kill. You remember the girl that was running in the basement and she was stuck and there was like this giant, whatever you call it, like spike thing, and he like pushed her through, like it felt like that was a tribute, but like it went through his face. And there were some pretty brutal kills. What I liked about it is you see the aftermath, like the original movies. You don't just see it like it's not a Friday 13th film. It's not Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a Halloween movie. So it's the whole less is more. And I love that. I enjoyed the music. The music was off the fucking wall. John Carpenter came back. Another thing that was missing with the franchise, no John Carpenter. He gets the music of the series. I bought the sound. I pre-ordered the soundtrack, and I listened to every track, and I never have done that with any of the Halloween soundtracks like right away. Like it's it's an incredible soundtrack, and it had so much John Carpenter. It has that John Carpenter sound. And it added a lot to the movie. The editing was really great. The pacing was so good. The chasing scenes, I mean, just the kills were great. It looked and felt like a Halloween movie, finally. Like even Resurrection did look like a Halloween movie, but it didn't feel like a Halloween movie, But this film looked and felt like a Halloween movie since Halloween 4, Halloween 5, where it truly had that, feel to it. Or at Halloween 6, the producer's cut, like that, even the producer's cut has a lot of elements where it looks and feels like a Halloween movie, But this really went back to the basics of the original movie, and it's a true sequel to the original movie. I did not think I was going to enjoy this film as much as I did. I was very surprised. I was extremely surprised by this movie. I was shocked. When the movie ended, I didn't want it to end. I was like, that's it? But it ended so good. I love the shot where the camera pans to the granddaughter holding the knife. And it kind of has that Easter egg homage to Laurie in the remakes, in H2, and then Jamie Lloyd in Halloween 4. That would be kind of cool. But Michael Myers, it's his series. I wouldn't mind to see an anthology thing, another anthology like movie, like Season of the Witch. I would not mind to see another Season of the Witch Halloween movie, to be honest. I love Halloween Season of the Witch. I think it's incredibly underrated, and I'm really glad that it's gained an audience the past few years. I started to see more attraction to that movie from people like in 2012, and it's some people's favorite Halloween movie. So I would not mind to see, for them to take a break from Michael Myers and do an anthology thing. I would not mind to see a different like storyline, like Twilight Zone. I would not mind to see that. If they got John Carpenter back and they did something like Season of the Witch again, I would not mind that, because Season of the Witch is a great movie, and it has a lot of atmosphere. Has a lot of atmosphere, and if that's what it takes for the studio to make another great Halloween movie, then so be it. Universal did great with Season of the Witch, and now that they're involved still, now that they're back involved, they can do something really awesome. But I would like to see a sequel to this. I feel like if they do that, then it's kind of like a trilogy. You watch the original movie, you watch this new one, and then you watch the next one. And I feel like the next one could all take place in the hospital, and they could do a tribute to Halloween 2, and it's like everything ends in the hospital, and they do this in the movie that they didn't do in the original Halloween 2, and they wrap it up in like a really epic way. Or the movie jumps years ahead. But I wouldn't mind if it took place on the same night. The sheriff got killed, so anything's possible. You know what I mean? So I would not mind to see a direct sequel to this, and it is even bigger, more epic than this movie. I felt like the movie was setting up that, because I believe that Laurie and the daughter and the granddaughter, they all got wounded in some way. So I don't know, but I feel like there's a story open there, and I would not mind to see another movie. And I just loved so much of this movie, and I could talk about it for hours. I'm gonna do a live stream one day because this video is gonna be too long. You know, like this video is already gonna be like an hour. You know, but it's Halloween. That's the thing. You know, like this is an ultimate event, so of course I'm gonna make this video so long because this is the ultimate. You know, and I just can't believe I saw it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's just like, wow. And I'm gonna see it again, and I'm gonna see it again. I'm gonna get it on Blu-ray. Like I was so impressed with this movie. Um, I don't know, but I think the reporter guy, I think he might still be alive. They never showed him die. I thought he was the character that got his teeth ripped out in the bathroom stall scene, but it was another character. And you never see a shot of him like this where he dies. He's like, you know, or like he looks like just wounded, you know, but maybe his character got away, you know, like I feel like his character would actually like, okay, he's a reporter that went through it and now he's obsessed with hunting Michael. I think actually that would be a pretty good story. I liked his acting so much that I would not mind for him to be in the next Halloween movie. Like I wouldn't mind him being another kind of Dr. Loomis. No one's ever going to replace Donald Pleasance, you know, but I think in terms of like a modern, you know, version, he actually would be pretty cool because he's not a doctor, he's a reporter, you know, so like a reporter after, you know, Michael, I think would be actually pretty awesome. His story was really, and the woman's story, their story was just awesome, you know, that they wanted to get all these answers and they got none. Like Laurie says, there's nothing, you know what I mean? Like, that was great. And she's like, you don't believe in the boogeyman? He's like, well, I believe in my notorious killer Michael Myers, but the boogeyman, no. And she's like, well, you should. Like, that was a great moment, and I love the tribute to Donald Pleasance in the original film when the woman, reporter woman, she says they're gonna transfer him to a prison or whatever for his final days, and she says that's the idea. That's like in the original movie, you know, in the very beginning, you know, when Dr. Loomis is in the car in the rain with the nurse, and he's like, that's the idea, you know, like I like those callbacks, you know, and I guess I could talk about this movie for hours. This one video is even 40 minutes isn't enough for me to talk about this movie. This was wowing. You know, certain things I didn't like about it, but the great moments of this movie overshadowed it. So the kills, the suspense, the humor, the good humor, the incredible drama between between Laurie and her daughter and her granddaughter. And I love the flashbacks. You know, I love the flashback of Laurie's daughter, like when she was a kid, and you see why she was taken away from her mom. You know, and that like her mom gave this paranoia to her, you know, forever. The one line I didn't like in the movie was she's like, "Oh, the world's all happy and it's full of this and that and da 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 da. It's not a dark place. Go, leave the house." And she's like, "You don't have a gun." She's like, "Go away. You're leaving," or something. She slams the door. That was so stupid. And like, wouldn't that have been on the news already? You know, the bus crash. You know, like it's obviously hours later. Like, I'm surprised that didn't hit headline news. You know, because everything's on the news now. So that did surprise me. But other really, 80% of this movie is incredible. You know, like the other 20% is cringeworthy for certain reasons, but overall, the most part, this is an amazing movie, and this mask is amazing, and Jude Courtney did incredible as Michael. Nick Castle coming back, he did amazing. You really felt that atmosphere. John Carpenter, doing the music with the sun. Jamie Lee Curtis performance. You know, it just really felt like, you know, this was like a true Halloween sequel that we've been waiting for since Halloween 2. It's like, out of all the sequels, and I love Halloween 4 and I love Halloween H2O, you know, but this was incredible. this movie was incredible. I love the widescreen format. You know, it was sick. It was awesome. You know, and it was an amazing movie. It was, and I can't wait to see it again and again. And I probably will talk about it more in my future videos. Other things that I probably didn't mention in this video. It's just such a big movie. This is one video is enough for me to talk about everything. But I really enjoyed it, and I really hope there's a sequel to this. And yeah, it was amazing. So that's my review, guys. I don't even want to stop the video, but I don't want to like make this a 2-hour video, you know. So I'll make another video in the future about this movie for sure. But it was incredible. Any Halloween fan, go see it. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. You know, like I saw it opening night, and I saw it on Monday. So I saw it Thursday night and I saw it Monday night. And the Monday night audience, wasn't even packed. It was a small crowd, but the Thursday night crowd was huge. So I can tell everybody went opening weekend, you know. A lot of people thought that this movie was going to surpass its box office, but I said to everybody, there's no way. It made that much money, and It Too, Chapter 2 is going to make just as much next year. Just watch. So, Halloween has an audience, it has a big fan base, but I don't think this movie will make that much money. At most, probably 200 million worldwide. But the highest grossing Halloween film, from I remember, was Rob Zombie's remake, the first remake, and that made 80 million worldwide. So any Halloween film to make over 100 million worldwide that's a huge deal, and they're gonna make a sequel. You know, if it reaches that 100 million mark, yeah, you know, and I'm thinking this will make at least 200 million by the end of it. I feel like if they would have released this movie a little sooner in the month, it would have made more money. But we'll see how the box office goes. It's just I don't see a lot of people seeing it in November. I feel like everybody went to go see it for October time, you know. But you know, the true diehard fans that love this movie will go see it, you know, again and again. And I'm gonna see it again and again. So that's my review, guys. I hope you enjoyed. And I hope you enjoyed the other videos that I had played before this. And yeah, so wow, I can't even believe I'm doing a review. I did my review of Halloween 2018. So yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. And everybody's got their own opinion, you know, but this was amazing. And for me to cry at the beginning of the movie is a big deal, and that means that the movie did something right, you know. So yep, that's my review, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you all very soon. All right, peace.